getting it started right here, already spawning in. This is going to be really fun.
Yeah, and here we have Zeno on the Fredward, the Fredwardo, the Freddy Krueger here on the Father Campbell's Chapel. He's got Gift of Pain, Pain Resonance, along with the Bamboozle, which I don't hate that pick at all for Father Campbell's Chapel. There's so many windows on this map that are just ludicrously strong. The Bamboozle, I think, is a great choice. Already hitting Bubbo with that Dream Snare, putting him to sleep. The first hit of the snare puts him to sleep, and the second snare slows him down. Not going to be getting a hit, though, as it's going to be Zeno getting stunned up with the pallet. Bubbo continuing to play this filler pallet very well. Has to break the pallet, and that's going to allow Bubbo to zone himself correctly back into the Corrupt Gen area. So great start here for the Survivors of Oracle.
Yeah, 100% already starting off pretty well, and you see the progress, and like you said, like going to the corrupt side makes Zeno, rotate over to try to push these survivors off of these gens. It's going to be really nice to see how this ends up panning out, and yeah, the Bamboozle over the shack, just in case you decide to play that pallet again. But right now we're just trying to find some footing right here, trying to potentially catch Overdose right here, and he's getting closer and closer. But is someone here? Is there a resource here readily available for him? Not gonna make it to that pallet. That's gonna be the first down and the first hook before a flashlight save comes in and completely negates what I just said right now. Excellent, excellent work to these survivors. Very, very coordinated.
Survivors of Oracle really showing up here, and he's not gonna get that swing either, just a little bit too far away from Overdose there on the tap. Now going over towards this 4-lane. He is going to make the pallet here, and he gets the stun there. How did Zeno walk into that stun? A little bit of a mistake there, honestly. And Overdose now, he's gonna make this pallet gym as well. Yep, gonna be dropping that pallet there. Zeno forced to kick. One generator going down in the distance. Gonna be another snare coming out, but Overdose sees it coming in, dodges out on it. He's going to actually make it back towards Shack, and this setup here, Dream Snare coming out, is going to hit, but I don't think it's going to do anything. There's one real pallet here and one fake pallet on the other side. Overdose gets slowed up by the snare there, but he's going to make it back around one more time. Miss there on the pallet explosion with the fake pallet. Zeno going all out here with Freddy's power to try to get this down, but it's just not working. Another generator is done. 3 to go now. And Overdose is still in chase at this filler by the shack. Goes for a 360 spin. Tries to fake out Overdose, but it just does not work. Stunned up again. There's still a fake pallet here that he can try to use, but I think Zeno might finally get the down here. No, the hit comes... Oh, he phases through him with the Dream Projection. Zeno really has done his research on the Freddy here. Pallet explosion again coming in, going to miss there. A little bit too late on the trigger. It is quite difficult to get those fake pallet hits. But Zeno, that was an extremely rough chase, but he did end up getting it in the end with a nice bit of tech.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the awareness and the knowledge from Zeno coming in. Well, we're finally going to get our first pain risk stack potentially right here. But yeah, just the fact that, that first down took so long. Like, it almost took 3 whole gens to get that first hook, Obviously, the down came a lot quicker, but thanks to the awareness of these survivors, they were able to prolong the life of Overdose just a little bit longer. And it was enough, but... Something to note is a lot of these resources were dropped earlier, specifically on the right side of the map, coming all the way down. But regardless, still able to pump through gens, and just like that, 4 generators popped in, for Overdose's troubles now. Zeno trying to find potentially another one. This is your BL though, so you're going to find a lot of distance made right here. Zeno has a big decision to make here. You're going to continue this chase. You're going to try to go get your tunnel out on Overdose to try to get at least, the threat of someone dead on hook, and that's exactly what he's looking to do. This is going to be really cool to see. Can we see another type of body block? But we saw how you can phase through it. Makes it a little bit difficult. This has to be a down pretty soon here, though. Especially if you read this mind game. There's nothing here. So good awareness so far, and that's going to be another hook.
And that was actually a fake pallet hit there from Zeno. was able to zone overdose into the fake pallet explosion. So first fake pallet kill for Freddy in DBDLeague. Very nicely done by Zeno. Only one generator to go, and it looks like they are about 40% done on that gen. So Zeno in dire straits here, as he still does have one real pallet here in the corner. Going to go ahead and break that and put Bubbo to sleep with the Dream Snare. Should get an M1 hit here. Yeah, Bubbo knew he didn't have the distance there and is just going to go over to this main building, using the Lyde there to make distance. Just knows that he needs to stay away from the carnival for as long as possible here, because he's going to get the adrenaline. Nicely done there from Elysium and Zeno, or Bubbo now. He knows that these pallets are fake. He can kind of see it when he gets up close to them. And Zeno content to follow him and take the M1 combined with the Dream Snare. Bubbo now running in the carnival. And these pallets should be real. No chases here have been taken yet. And Bubbo trying to play chicken on this pallet here with Zeno. Goes for the vault, goes for the vault back. Is going to win out on that mind game so far. He's got a little bit more distance. Does not need to vault just yet. And he's going to be able to force the Freddy to break the pallet. These Dream Snare mind games are just coming up short for Zeno. Bubbo's refusing to lose the mind game here. Still keeping it in those 50-50s. Not affected enough by the hinder for himself to go down to the M1 at this pallet.
Yeah, 100%. He's holding chase so well. He's able to win pretty much every 50-50, but now you kind of get zoned. I mean, you have this window right here, maybe another tile right behind it, but I'm not sure if you have enough distance to make it through. Unfortunately, getting a little bit stuck. Was that a head-on potentially right there? I'm
that
not 100%
might have been an
sure.
attempted head-on save, but Zeno realized it would have been too obvious if he went back into the locker. Or,
Yeah,
sorry, that was V1. He realized he probably would have got found if they crawled back in front of the locker.
Yeah, 100%. That makes sense, right? Obviously, like with someone with that experience and like game sense, obviously you see those things coming. But now, what looked like a couple stages out the gate. Now we have 2 downs. It's going to come down to how these survivors are going to play this out. Bubo already getting up. Overdose was working on that gate earlier. You can see it in the HUD. So obviously, it's more of a question of which gate is the one that he was working on, and whether or not these survivors can actually make it through. That's going to be. I mean, if they let V1 leave, this is 5 stages, 2 fresh, which is, not too bad. But I think oh my God, they actually got V1. They were able to rescue him. So this is going to be really interesting. I'm not really sure how you make it over to this gate, because I think the gate behind Shaq is the one that's open.
Yeah, and they have to path away from the loop there because of the fake pallet, and that's going to be Bubbo going down again. Once these resources are drained from the map, Freddy's zoning power just gets more and more, as placing those fake pallets everywhere he can to make them explode. And this gate has 0 progress. The other gate that they could possibly be using is pretty far away, all the way over by the shack, it seems. And so Zeno going to be putting Bubbo up on the first hook. And these fresh hooks are invaluable for Zeno here after the rough match that he's had. Overdose going to be healing up V1. It looks like they do want to go for this save. And if you are Oracle here, the correct play is to trade the person on the hook for Overdose. Overdose is dead on hook. They can trade up 1 hook stage if they get Bubbo and make sure that Overdose is the one to die, if anyone.
Yeah, 100%, and that's really nice to see, like that kind of. There's going to be that kind of aggression from the survivors for sure. Overdose already going to threaten, this hook save with the door being open, and obviously that's why you see Zeno going and getting attacked. But through that commotion, was it enough to get closer to get this rescue? It looks like it was, but like you said, the phasing through onto Bubo right here is going to be crucial in order for Zeno to get this down. But honestly, either one is probably fine. Getting the down onto V1 or onto Bubo, you get pretty much the same amount of hook stages. But right now, what it looks like, it was going to be potentially 3 survivors out this door. But I think what it's going to come down to, oh, that's bad.
The black box. The gate was closed there for a second. but I don't think it's going to end up mattering, though.
Yeah, really good stuff right here. I mean, it's crazy to think about how this all ended up panning out a little bit. I'm not expecting this for sure.
Yeah, V1 was still in the trial, so it wasn't the add-on that ended up killing him, but it did induce a little bit of panic in the survivors of Oracle. That black box add-on, we didn't talk about it during the game because that is an add-on that only comes into play when the gate is opened. So 15 seconds of gate blockage for any survivor that is asleep when they open the door. Why you saw the survivors walking into the entity spikes for a second, and it looks like Bubbo here is waiting at the door all the way until the last second. So that is going to be a 3 out. Wait, are you leaving, Bubbo?
Can you not get out? Wait, what?
I'm a little bit confused here, SSB, because
Yeah,
the black box is only supposed to last for 15 seconds. Zeno clearly doesn't have Blood Warden.
I think that might have been a bug, if I'm not mistaken.
Lingers for 3 seconds after they're woken up. Yeah, it's only supposed to last 15 seconds. I'm gonna need some help here from our analysts and production. What happened there?
Yeah, I think I think it might be a bug, according to the staff, what they're saying right now in the back. But
okay. It looks like Zeno agrees that it's a bug. We have clip evidence, so we'll have to see if there's a decision there about whether Bubbo actually made it out the door. But I guess while we figure that out, we're going to be flipping the Freddy set to the other side, and we'll let you know what actually happened when we come back from this break.
Hello everyone, welcome back to DBDLeague. We are in the Elysium versus Oracle matchup. This is the first killer, the second half, if you will. Now it's gonna be up to Bubo to get potentially a 7-stage match or a 6-stage with 4 fresh hooks. So everyone getting hooked once might be your best chance right here, especially with Pain Res gonna get rewarded a little bit. Something to note also, shout outs to the stats in the back, shout outs to Toby letting us know that Swatter, Silly, and Pedro, 3 of these 4 survivors have been deathless in this tournament so far. So we potentially could see that streak being broken right now. Prion, what do you think is gonna happen potentially?
I think we're gonna be seeing the Elysium survivors here running very safely on this Father Campbell's Chapel. A extremely strong survivor-sided map, as we saw in the last game. Zeno just getting ran around a strong killer setup connected to Shaq, but maybe I shouldn't have said that because Silhe zones himself into the corner by the pallet gem and is going to go down a lot faster than Zeno's first down came in.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously, you know, we saw the coordination from the survivors earlier, you know, with the flashlight save and just holding chase a lot longer. But yeah, like you said, gonna be going down a lot faster. But now we do potentially see 2 gens with some like decently high progress. So I feel like we might be able to see a gen being popped pretty soon here. It's gonna be up to Zeno to hold chase and then immediate rescue. So that means one person probably working on a generator while one person's being chased, the other person's being altruistic. So really good breakdown or breakup of duties from these survivors right now. Potentially going to try to make some magic happen here. Zoning Silhe out over here. All you have is a window, but you also have this pallet. So trying to get the snares maybe to slow down the animation, but regardless, I think we just see simple zoning out right here, potentially trying to get someone dead here pretty soon. Here it's going to be a 50 potentially. You see someone here for the body block, so we're going to have to see if something can happen here. The snares are happening, the snares are slowing down. Still no hits though. Zeno, great hit.
Yeah, Zeno coming in for the hit to help Silhe here, and Silhe does need help. They were unhooked pretty quickly here, and it looks like he's going to go down to the TL mind game there. Nice little play here from our Freddy, and that's going to be second hook for Silhe. And I kind of take issue with how quickly they unhooked Silhe. When you go down that quickly, if you unhook them just as fast on the survivor side, you're just opening the killer up to be able to tunnel. And they've just unhooked him again here, but this time going for the people play. Now, this is a little bit more of a smart play, I would say. If you are going to unhook this person that's dead on hook, you better have a for the people for them, because with only 3 gens remaining to go, you know that the killer Bubbo here is going to want that tunnel out. See, like, Xeno didn't have the option of a tunnel out in the last game. Bubbo now, when he sees that the survivors are choosing to so quickly unhook the person that he already has stages on, the tunnel out is fresh in his mind as a possible strategy. So the for the people there going to be very good. Xeno, nice pathing there, goes right around that dream snare, and he's gonna make that pallet again. Xeno here showing his knowledge of the new Freddy matchup, and he makes it to Shaq as well. Bubbo definitely not going to want to continue chase there, not at Shaq with the pallet up and a jungle gym window connecting. So Bubbo here is in a little bit of trouble. He only needs a few more hook stages to meet this win condition, but he's lost his tunnel out, and the only survivors that he's able to find right now are over by this Shaq setup, which is extremely strong on this map.
100%, yeah, and I feel like, you know, having to settle for Pedro, which is fine, like, you have another hook stage to give onto Pedro's side, but just like that, one more gen being popped and the lights being procced, so just making it that much more difficult. There is a bit of a dead zone here. There's not really a whole lot to work with here, because this pallet was dropped earlier by Silhei, so gonna opt to go to Carnival. Can you make it to this pallet? That swing not coming in. Bubo not gambling, just opting to break and zone out right here, and opting to just leave, maybe understanding that these gens are gonna get popped pretty soon. Gonna, you know, just go to the corner to die. Xeno, I mean, doing a really good, these survivors are doing such a good job of just pulling Bubo away from all of the gen pressure that it's just almost impossible to think that this last gen's not gonna get popped, because you know that they're doubling up on this gen, but I wonder what the thought's gonna be right here.
And did Silhei just took a hit there? They're doing the gen in his face, and Xeno's gonna get off. He's gonna touch the gen after getting off the shoulders of the Freddy, but it's just not close enough. Not going to be able to repeat that play that they made in the grand finals of the All Hallows League on the Spirit on Hawkins, because the gen is at about 97, not 99. So Bubbo actually has time to put down Eruption, and there are so many injured survivors here. This is really bad for Elysium. Pedro is going to go down right next to the gen, proccing Eruption on it, and I think this gen is done for. There's a survivor hooked right next to it. They need to go do another one, and Bubbo is rapidly approaching the win condition.
That might have been the change in fortune that Bubbo needed to potentially seal this Freddy set right here. Like you said, I mean, it looked really rough at first, but he was kind of close to the amount of hook stages. Oh my god, that's another down. That's a dead Silhei, so now it's a 3v1. Oh no, this is starting to get a little bit out of hand. Yeah, just Mori, no, don't waste any time getting on hook. Probably will take, probably wouldn't take as long to just get this kill, but all gens have been popped, and no, Silly was your adrenaline player? Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, and okay, so the hook stages are extremely bugged on the HUD, because of Shoulder the Burden, but I believe that the Mori takes a lot longer than going to hook, so I'm thinking that the reason why he chose to Mori there was because that kill on Silhei met the win condition. Let me see if, yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait for confirmation on that, because sorry to everybody in chat and on YouTube, ever since Shoulder the Burden, the stages are so bugged that it's almost impossible to cast and keep track of the stages, because they are always all wrong on the display. So Bubbo here teleporting now over towards the Carnival. He needs to keep track of both of these doors at the same time, which he can sort of do with the teleport, but not on both of them. The door is going to be opened. It's going to be 3 survivors escaping out the door, and we're gonna have to go to our analysts to see if he made the win condition there, and it doesn't look like he did. So the Mori was the wrong choice there. Elysium is going to take the Freddy set. Xeno had 6 stages, 3 fresh. That Mori only netted him 5. So that's gonna be Elysium taking the Freddy set. Sorry for the confusion there, like I've said before and a couple times now. Shoulder the Burden has messed everything up on the HUD. It's a little bit hard to keep track of, but luckily we have Nice people in production keeping track of the stages for us.
Yeah, 100%. And, obviously, shouts to Elysium for powering through, getting that first win. So we're going to go to a short little break, and we'll be right back with some more DBD League action. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Set 2 of Oracle versus Elysium here. We've got the Wraith on Hawkins National Laboratory, and it looks like Bubbo here already finding his first chase onto Silhay. Going to go for the uncloak here. Tries to do a little uncloak lunge mind game, but it's not going to work. Silhay calls that out, stuns him up with the pallet, and Xeno going to probably have to go for someone else. Silhay is waiting at another dropped pallet here. This very safe play is exactly what you want to do against the Wraith on this map. Looks like Xeno going to get caught out a little bit, but he knows that Shadow Dance is in play and is going to be bolting back and forth on that pallet. So Bubbo removing another pallet from this map and going to have to go find something else. Probably will be able to find a survivor working a generator here, but with good comms, they should be able to avoid a hit, but I don't think they were able to do it there. Swatter just a little bit off guard there. Maybe the comm was late. Maybe they thought that the Wraith was somewhere else that he wasn't, but that is going to be the first hit.
Yeah, really good stuff so far. Obviously, these resources eventually are going to get whittled down a little bit more. One of your saving graces is that you just have a lot of rooms to go into, so lots of places to take the killer. But man, that swing with the boost, the lunge boost over around the corner, really good stuff right there. Now it's going to be the first hook onto Swatter, and like you said, a little bit unfortunate comms. Obviously, I feel like once you're far enough away from the Wraith, the shimmer kind of goes away from his cloak ability, I believe. So it kind of makes it a little bit more difficult for you to effectively communicate. But these survivors mostly are doing a good job. But yeah, that's going to be first hook onto Swatter. And now it's going to be up to Boo Boo to find someone else here. Already finds Xeno, which he had to drop earlier. Still gets the hit though.
Yeah, and I just wanna say this set is engineered by our balance team to make the Wraith into an S tier killer. We often see 4K2s, even 4K3s here with this Wraith Hawkins set, so it is extremely difficult on the survivors as Swatter now attempting to play this pallet. Wow, that was a nasty lunge out of Bubbo back around the other way. Swatter did not see that coming at all, but if you think about it as killer, lunging around that pallet in that direction was actually the only way that he would have been able to hit over the pallet. If he had gone the other way, he probably would have collided with the wall, just due to the way that lunge physics work. So incredibly good play from Bubbo there, showing his mastery of M1 killer and knowledge of the map physics here. And actually, Shadow Dance is not in play. So very interesting add-on choices here from Bubbo. Looks like he's got Swift Hunt and Windstorm, and Windstorm is a really interesting one for Hawkins in particular due to all the tight spaces. I gotta wonder, where is he hoping to cut survivors off and body block them here with Windstorm?
Yeah, that's actually a very good point that you're making right there. Obviously, for the, I feel like if anything, just traversing around the map, especially here because there's so many nooks and crannies. There's the stairs. There's just a whole lot of stuff around this map that you can just struggle to maneuver around effectively. Maybe just the extra speed boost helping a little bit. Certainly helping here to maybe cut Xeno off right here. Considering Xeno, you hear the animation dropping a pallet, potentially thinking that Boo Boo was right behind them, but nowhere to be found. Opting to go for Swatter to get this kill. And I don't know if you guys saw in the HUD earlier, Swatter's the head-on player, so, no head-on shenanigans right here, and that's just a Mori right there straight up. That's crazy.
It's so funny still to see these teams that think they can go for a decisive strike, a pallet save, a wave to bluff that there's a survivor here to flashlight save me, but no. Every killer in the winter circuit has a red Mori, so 0 time bought by that bluff there. No pallet save allowed to come in, and Bubbo is going to get his first kill at 3 gens remaining and immediately find another chase onto the injured Xeno.
Oh, gets the swing and a miss there right there though.
There's no way to get a fastball here. Xeno is dead.
Yeah, this is that's a little bit unfortunate right there. The eruption proccing and actually going over to try to find someone else here. And like you said, yeah, the balance team engineering this very perfectly. I mean, I feel like this is not something that, if if Wraith was like normal, it balanced in a different way, you don't see a result like this at this point in the game. I think you normally are getting, you know, one gen before someone dies, unless you're finding some fortunate situations, just like Bobo did right here. Like you said, calling out the bluff, pocketing some more eruption onto these generators, trying to cut someone off right here. I'm not sure who it was, but yeah, I mean, this has been kind of a crazy match already so far, and the survivors trying to at least get their footing, get back on their feet, and start the onslaught yet again. A reset happening, but right then and there you just get found, and so you actually aren't able to make that reset count for much.
Yeah, and Silhe immediately gets hit through a pallet as well. Having to play these unsafe pallets against the Wraith is so difficult, and Xeno there for a hit there. Going to buy a little bit more time for Elysium. Nice play there from Xeno, but I don't think it's going to buy them much time. He's trying to block with the Windstorm, but just unable to do it, and he's actually going to get stunned up there. Nice play by Silhe, able to avoid that body block, and now he makes it back towards another filler. But once again, this is very unsafe pallet. It's going to go for the uncloak. Trying to get the lunge mind game. It is going to work, and Silhe will go down. Eruption hits the portal room gen in the distance, and in the 3v1, this game is going to significantly slow down. So I want to talk for a little bit about why this set is so difficult on survivors. The Wraith, he moves around the map so quickly here. You can only hear him when he's about within 10 meters of you with that ragged breathing that he has. And there's so many line of sight blockers and walls on this map that it's impossible to see him from far away. So we see Xeno now caught at another unsafe pallet. He's going to go down. Only one survivor standing now, but it looks like he's going to opt to hook. Maybe knows kind of what's coming in with Xeno's build, as the boil over combined with the flip-flop and the tenacity does not want to leave that guy under a pallet. So Xeno going to go up on the hook. But as I was saying, with the way that the Wraith can move through this map completely undetectable, it's almost impossible to see where he's coming from until he's within about 10 meters of you. The communication of the survivors needs to be nothing short of perfect if they are going to be not giving free hits, not getting caught by the Wraith in a bad spot like they are right now. Xeno injured here, but a nice hit comes in from Pedro. Barely gets there and is able to block Xeno away from going down. But now, I mean, this is still a terrible situation. All survivors injured, barely any gen progress, 3 gens to go.
Yeah, there's I feel like this is very unlikely that we're going to see another gen be completed, based on the fact that someone goes down, you move over to try to push someone to try to find another person to get a second down. Third person rotates over to get a heal or to get the pickup, and it's just the same thing over and over again, and eventually the killer wins this war of attrition. If anyone can get out of a sticky situation, it's Elysium, but this is looking pretty rough, I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, like you said, I mean, this has been kind of a crazy set. I mean, it's cool to see, the Wraith being used in such a deadly way, if you will. This is gonna be enough to make it to this pallet. Yeah, it is, and it gets the stun for his troubles. Should be more than enough time for Pedro to come over and pick up Silhe, and that's exactly why. Oh my god, that was Any Means, I believe, as well, right?
Yeah, that pallet was just picked up with Any Means Necessary. Some of the interesting perks that we see on this rule set. But you see that Bubbo, as soon as he sort of loses a chase and sees that Xeno has made it into a very strong area, he immediately leaves and goes to find a survivor that's in a weak area. And you can't always be in a strong area on Hawkins, especially when you have all these rooms everywhere. As Silhe goes down again, you have these rooms, there's so many of them, but so many of them have extremely weak pallets that the Wraith just plays around so easily. Xeno going to be trading for Pedro, and that's going to be probably it. Once Pedro goes down here, they do have Xeno on the ground with flip-flop and boil over. That might be their only chance here.
Yeah, could potentially be their only chance. You know, gonna have to pick up Xeno. Obviously, Xeno going to rotate over to a side of the map that is very, how do I say, very dry and has no hooks nearby. So can actually just get the pickup right there. Oh my god. And still gets the stun anyways. Pedro holding chase very well. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what else you can get. You probably have to win an interaction here, but if you break this pallet, you might be able to. No, you still have enough to make it through. It's the 50s. If anyone can do it, it could be Pedro, but no, it's going to be a down, and that is most likely all she wrote, unless Xeno gets a crazy flip-flop play here. But yeah, I mean, 4K3 is a crazy result.
Yeah, and if Bubbo knows what's going on here, he will probably just slug Xeno out. We even see Pedro here crawling towards the hook because he probably wants to be in position for Xeno to potentially knock himself off the Wraith's shoulders and come over to unhook. So where is Xeno here is the question. What pallet is he hiding on?
Yeah, definitely gonna be a
Okay,
struggle.
he's actually not on a pallet at all. It looks like he wants to... No, okay. It looks like the survivors of Elysium are ready to go into the killer side instead.
Yeah, 100%. It was a crazy hard fought set from Bubo. Obviously, we still have one half of it to go. Hatch randomly spawns on this map as well, right? Like it can kind of be anywhere. It's really hard to find, but it does randomly spawn, right?
Yes, yes. So in general with this set, the reason why you're seeing these incredible best in the world teams getting 4K 3'd by the Wraith is that it's incredibly difficult to tell when this Wraith is leaving you to go for somebody else and when he's like actually committed to you. So the instant that somebody in chase comms that he's off me and he's going this way, they need to have absolutely perfect timing on those communications, and the person who is getting targeted by the Wraith needs to be immediately in a strong area. And often they don't have time to do that, and then they get stuck playing these bad pallets, and then they spread injuries, and then they get slugged, and that's how the Wraith ends up winning these sets. So, very strong performance by Bubbo. We're going to be flipping it over to the other side here to see if Elysium can meet that extremely tough win condition. Don't go anywhere, guys. We will be right back.
Hello everyone, welcome back, and now we are in the second half of this raid set. It has been a crazy match so far. I mean, we got a 4K3, so these Oracle survivors, their job is very simple. Just pop 3 generators and you should be good to go. So we're gonna have to see how that ends up happening, but that's a really early first hit onto Bubo. Xeno going to have to make some magic. Prion, you talked about earlier how whenever the chips are against all the chips are on the table, pressure is at its max. This is where Xeno could potentially thrive. We might be able to see some of that magic right now, but Bubo holding chase really well.
Yeah, Bubbo doing a very good job playing around these pallets that on their own are weak, but when you chain them together against the Wraith, they can really mess up his plan of going for uncloak lunges, as he's very patient on this pallet, going to drop it now and go back around the other side. He's gonna be in the 50s now though, so Bubbo going to eventually go down, and going to be a boil over revealed. The horsey perk is on this ace. Definitely interesting to see that one in competitive, but that's going to be 1 stack of Grim Embrace. It's a very interesting build here from Xeno, and looks like there's going to be a special surprise when he does decide to kick a gen. In the Dragon's Grip, could be very big value here with a stealth killer on Hawkins. And as we see V1, he knows the killer is nearby, so he's camping a strong pallet or window. There's a generator up there, and Xeno, he knows that V1 knows, so he's going to just leave that healthy survivor, and he's probably going to go back and try to get the tunnel, but there's one problem with that. They already got a for the people play here. They know that the only win condition here for Xeno is a tunnel.
Yeah, 100%. Only win condition is a tunnel, and I mean, you know, 2 generators is that's a lot of pressure that the survivors can just put on. That makes it very difficult to meet this win condition. But I mean, yeah, now we get another vault right here. Bubble does have another pallet, and just like you said, all these pallets by themselves not very strong, but Bubble's making the most out of it, chaining them together, just pre-dropping them, knowing that Xeno has to go around fully, and yet another pallet here. I mean, once these pallets are being broken, I feel like this is a situation. Nice down. This is a situation I think that we're just playing for the win condition. It's very likely that this will not go to 5 gens popped unless there's, you know, there's crazy plays from the survivors. But you see them already on another gen, and that's going to be Zongao and V1 both on gens. If those 2 gens are the ones getting popped, then that's going to be more than enough to meet the win condition. Generator number 2 popped already, so that is already at worst the tie condition, and now this is where Xeno can really make some magic happen, slow the game down to a halt. But you see V1's not letting go of that gen, so playing for the win con, if you will.
Yeah, Xeno here, he needs to somehow get the sacrifice on Bubbo and also get a Dragon's Grip exposed down onto V1, who has been touching that gen since the game started. And I don't think he's going to stop anytime soon, as that is already the win condition met for Oracle. You know,
Yeah.
I don't mean, you know, I do mean to toot my own horn. I predicted that the Wraith set was going to be heavily favored by Oracle, and that is going to be Oracle taking the set point and evening this series up.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I mean, this is this has been vintage Oracle for sure. Just making this work, even if you don't necessarily get a really good result, you got the result that you needed to win, and it doesn't have to look pretty. Obviously, you know, teams play matches out for the sake of like competitive integrity, and also for the sake of keeping their momentum up, right? So you know that these survivors are going to be playing with everything that they have in order to just make a statement, in order to push onto the 3rd set. So now, you know, in a really good spot, and just like you said, this is the game where this is the trials, the tournament where saves, stalls, you know, pallets, none of that matters. You know, you just get a Mori, and that's all she wrote. So yeah, really excellent stuff right here from Xeno. Still obviously going to try to also match the momentum and try to at least get a 4K here before the gens pop. And now, because of the prioritization towards getting those 3 gens pop, there's little to almost no progress on any of these gens done. So now the game is going to shift back towards Xeno's favor. Obviously the win condition's already been met, but it's going to be cool to see how Xeno ends up responding to this.
Yeah, like you just said, the game has significantly shifted in Xeno's favor now that we're in the 3v1. Even though the win condition has already been met, the survivors are going to have to play much slower here. As Mata, he's going to make it to this pallet, but it's a very weak one. If you drop this pallet, you essentially are just resigning yourself to eventually get hit. It's going to be a set of blind 50-50s here for Mata, but he actually calls out the swing and is able to make Xeno whiff. That is the only way you escape from such a bad pallet there, is if you can somehow make the killer whiff. So nice play there for Mata. He's actually going to escape away from that room and go over towards the... No, he's actually going to be staying on the portal room side of the map. Probably V1 or Zongao working generators over in that direction. So he'd rather take a hit than interrupt those gens.
Yeah, 100%. Very content on trying to maintain the chases on that side of the map where the portal room is. But I mean, right now, already found another survivor, Mata, over here doing a totem. It's possible that that could be Wretch Fate if it's a Hex totem, which you know, is a very popular perk. I feel like we see it quite a bit, you know, being picked by killers, which is really cool to see. Another, obviously it sounds redundant to get a ton of slowdown, but it's nice to see, you know, more slowdown perks being added to give us some more variety. But right now, V1 trying to hold this pallet. It's not very good, but does end up winning that mind game right there. Able to make it to this pallet as well, at least to get the free vault, maybe just to condition the pallet break. And this is where, this is a pallet that's a little bit more suited for you, but it's going to come down to whether or not you can hold the chase. And Xeno just holding W, not taking that mind game that time around. Another generator gets popped. Mata has some progress here that is being done, so it's going to come down to whether or not we might be able to see this last gen getting popped too.
Yeah, V1 was playing that so well, and then it seemed like he just randomly pathed away from the loop and lost distance. This reminds me of when my mouse hits a cat hair when I'm playing Survivor. And Chase. But both survivors that are standing are injured now. Xeno looking to close this game out. He's going to find Mata here at this very strong window. He's just going to vault it. I think he wanted to go for the body block there, but going to finally get that down onto Mata. Out of resources there. That pallet is pretty terrible when it's dropped, so especially against a Wraith. So we have a generator here that is pretty progressed, but Dragon's Grip going to be put onto it there. The Exposed not going to do anything, but it will notify if Xeno does have somebody get back onto that generator. V1 going to go down in the open. This map is pretty drained of resources at this point. Zongao touched the generator with Dragon's Grip, going to alert Xeno to his presence. And yeah, it seems like he's just going to try to stick the gen. It's not going to work though. It seems to be only at about 80%. And that is going to be the 4K1 secured for Xeno. Unfortunately for Elysium, not nearly enough to get the win.
Yeah, not nearly enough to get the win. That's going to be another set right here, or that's going to be a set for Oracle. And now we're guaranteed to have the Singularity. So that's going to be really really nice to see. I'm excited to say the very least. But yeah, it's going to come down to whether or not this third set is going to be something that we can make happen on either side. It's going to be very important for this third set to be won, which I believe we talked about earlier, right? And I don't have it in front of me, but it's Dark Lord, right?
Yes, it is going to be the Dark Lord. And that one, no doubt, picked by Elysium. You can easily tell now, based on what my predictions were, which killers were picked by which teams. It's Bubbo that wants to play the Wraith and the Singularity, and it's Xeno who wanted to play the Freddy and now wants to play the Dracula. So Elysium is one of those teams that has been picking Dracula quite a bit here. Xeno plays this killer a lot. He played him in All Hallows League as well. And the killer in general has just become very popular among our teams.
Yeah, 100%. And it's going to be really cool to see, you guys are in for a treat. You guys are going to see exactly why this killer is so popular amongst all the teams being picked for DBDLeague after a short little break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody, to the third set of Elysium versus Oracle here, and we now have Elysium's second killer pick, Xeno on the Dark Lord here on Family Residence 2. He's starting off in the bat form, looking for his first chase, and he's going to find Zongao here, who notably is playing the Bill, not a survivor that we often see in competitive, and he's immediately going to get hit with the Hellfire over the rock. Pounce coming out here, trying to go for the two-tap, and Xeno gets that two-tap. Very nicely done here. Immediate shapeshift for a immediate second hit. So Xeno, a very strong start here, and going to put him up on the hook there for a Pain Resonance and a Gift of Pain. So good start here for Xeno. Oracle going to need to have some longer chases if they want to win this set.
100%, very, very short chase indeed. 36 seconds to be exact. Shoutouts to our stats people in the back. Shoutouts to Toby. Already finding yet another chase on the V1. Is this going to be, that was a very early hit. The Hellfire not enough to get through right there. Going to switch to the Werewolf. Potentially could find something here. And yeah, I mean, I love the back and forth switches between all of these, the Dracula itself and then, the Werewolf, specifically based on what Xeno needs. Like right there, he just needed V1 to commit to an action like vaulting or dropping a pallet to get the free Hellfire. Obviously, when you want to close the distance, you use the Werewolf, and obviously for movement ability and just be able to get around from point A to point B, you're going to want to switch to the bats. You're going to want to teleport to these windows right here and guess right potentially on where these survivors are.
Yeah, and you know what, SSBkid, I need to bring your attention to something very interesting here. The add-ons that Xeno is using on the Dark Lord today. One of them is the like Boots of Flight. These are standard, normal picks. All it does is increase the range of the teleport, but the other one is
Alucard
something I don't
shield,
think
right?
we've ever seen before. That's Alucard's shield, the Hellfire Pillars in the Gate minigame add-on. So I am very interested to see if this actually takes effect later in the game.
Yeah, gonna be crazy to say the very least. We might get some Mario Party here in DBD, right? Like you said, the mini game. It's gonna be quite literally the floor is lava, right? Like it's gonna be really fun to see how that ends up panning out. These survivors are definitely in for a surprise, to say the very least. So, and once again, I mean, builds. Pretty standard, obviously, you know, the slowdown, definitely enough to make something happen here with the Pain Res, Gift of Pain, and again, very popular perk, Wretched Fate, also another perk that we like to see a lot from these killers as well. So, lots of slowdown, another Pain Res stack right here. Gonna be teleporting over, maybe thinking that we're on the main side right here, or at least that's where we're trying to get to. But Mata, once again, the FTP specialist, if you will, which, if I'm not mistaken, was who was running FTP in the race set as well. So definitely just able to get in the right positionings to just get these quick, you know, FTP resets onto these survivors to make sure that they stick around a little bit longer in the trial. But it's not going to be worth much if you get found quite literally seconds later. So Zeno already has just been cooking, has been bouncing survivors back and forth, has another hook stage, and that's going to be all the freshes onto these survivors. So excellent work from Zeno, getting a lot of pain res value early on.
Yeah, and I've said it before with other killers on this map, Zeno is not going to care who he hooks as long as they are hooked over here by the main building. There's one tile here, that's it. Zeno, I think if he can help it, he is never even going to go over towards the shack side of this map. V1 there, very nice pathing, predicts the Hellfire, is able to use that slowdown from the killer to at least get away from the main building. He is still going to eat a pounce from the wolf, but he's able to get away from that area, and that has got to be what the survivors are playing to do here. They can't let themselves get hooked over by that main building when Zeno is starving the resources from it. Balanced landing here going to come in from V1, but it's not enough. Not enough to dodge out on that second pounce there. He had a little bit of speed there to play with, but just Zeno not going to miss that at such close range with the second pounce. Zongao looks like he's almost done with the gen here, and crucially here, ssbkid, Zeno has no more pain resonances. Any slowdown that he gets now is just going to be a dry kick or from the Gift of Pain slowdown.
Yeah, 100%. And is Wretched Fate another slowdown? I think it's an obsession-related slowdown, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
yeah,
it's only for the obsession.
Yeah, which bounced earlier because it was. I'm pretty sure it was on Zongao earlier, but with the FTP, it switched on to Mata. So does that mean Wretched Fate also just bounces around based on the FTP place? That's actually really smart considering, you know, Zongao earlier was kind of, you know, was found very early on, but then was kind of left alone because Zeno was trying to get these pain rest stacks and, like you said, trying to zone towards main. So now we see Mata having to deal with that, but if Mata's around pressuring pull with the addition of Overdose, that means Zonga can just sit on these gens for free. So we're going to have to see what the plan is going to be. Already trying to cleanse right there, maybe to just force Zeno to make a decision right here, and the decision's going to be to bring down Overdose, and again, just hooks after hooks after hooks. That's all he's really caring about right now. Wants to set himself up with a really good win condition, doesn't want to overextend, and that is going to be the Wretched Fate getting done. But is that going to be the cost of another health state, of another hook for Mata? It looks like that's exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah, Mata giving his life there to get rid of the Wretched Fate. But unfortunately, in exchange, he's going to get hooked right in the middle of the map here. It looks like Zeno has given up on hooking over there in the corner by the main building, and now he's preferring these hooks in the middle of the map. I can't see exactly which gens are remaining to be done, but it seems like Zeno has judged that that tiny corner of the map is no longer worth playing around, as another generator is doubled off in the distance, 2 remaining for the survivors. And it seems like, if I'm looking at the gen spread here, survivors do have a decent gen spread, but if they do that one that's over by the pagoda, they might be 3-gen around main.
Yeah, it's very possible that they could be 3-gen around main, and I think that early game of Zeno hooking near main, like you mentioned earlier, might have been instrumental to at least setting up this 3-gen potentially, because the rescues have been happening up on the main side of the map. That means everyone's been working on gens elsewhere, and now you have to come to this side of the map. And like you said earlier, there's only one tile, and I'm pretty sure there's no pallet there anymore. There might still be a pallet, but there's not a lot of resources up there. So the only place you have left to go is like mid-map if you can make it all the way bottom. But Xeno's not going to go all the way down there. That's going to be a trade right here. Obviously trying to maintain the life of Mata here, but is it going to be enough? We did see the plot twist on Zongao, but we're not going to get a whole lot of value out of it, especially because you've been knocked down earlier. But now it's going to come down to this BL, but it's not enough because the pounce is so strong. It cuts a lot of distance off, and that should be a dead V1 at 2 generators remaining. It's gonna be up to these survivors to get these quick heals, which is exactly what's happening. The double reset, and then maybe disperse, and maybe try to see if you can't make this a 4K1 at the very least.
The name of the game here for Oracle is, can you make it to Shack? They need to be able to draw Xeno away from this area around the main building and get to the strong areas that are over by Shack. No pallets have been dropped over there. There can be some really good setups there too, but it looks like now Zongao and Chase at this short wall jungle gym, but he's not going to be in a very good area here, and Xeno with the blind prediction on the Hellfire is going to down Zongao exactly where he wants survivors to be downed, over there by the gens. Now back to the Wolf here. He's got a healthy survivor here in Overdose. Goes for a finesse play, and I believe that was a Lithe as well. Good pathing here to dodge out on the pounce so far. He can't get hit by the Hellfire here though. Xeno lets it rip, and he is going to get the injury. That should give Overdose a little bit of distance towards the Shack. He's gonna need to dodge this pounce. Not enough distance though, as the 1 pounce is enough to down the Detective Tap. Only 1 survivor standing now, as Zongao hopefully getting picked up here if you're a fan of Oracle.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the play right here. However, by the time you make it over to Zongao, you might be able to cut off these survivors. And yeah, it's actually, we're gonna a bit of a fake out right here. Mata going over, using the sprint burst to get over to Overdose, but Xeno reading that right then and there as well. Obviously, like, it's kind of a 50-50 decision on who you're going to go pick up.
Misses the pounce though.
Yeah, still able to at least like have these survivors here, but yeah, like you said, misses the pounce. But just good guessing overall from Xeno, obviously. And now Zongao, you know, still bleeding out. Can someone make it all the way up there? I don't think it's gonna happen.
Zongao crawling all the way over to this tile to try to make time for Mata to pick him up. He is going to get picked up. We see the lullaby appearing. That means the bats are nearby. And Zongao immediately going to go back down. Picked up there by Xeno. He's going to go up on the hook here. And I do believe that is his 2nd hook. Xeno now immediately going back towards where he knows he downed Overdose. Trying to find Mata. Finds a scratch mark here. And he is going to find Mata stealthing, who now has to trade for Zongao to keep the team in the game. Hellfire, though, not enough range. And that's going to result in Mata living just a little bit longer. Crucial mistake there from Xeno. Just did not have enough range on that Hellfire, and now we have 2 survivors standing when this could have been ended a second ago.
100%, and the plot twist right there from Zongao going to be enough to come back to fully healthy, which is exactly what they're going to need right here in order to make something happen. Where is Overdose, though, is going to be the question, and can you get this pickup? Maybe the plan is holding Chase here if you're Mata, but this Hellfire potentially could be it. No, not going to be it. No one hoped for it. Mata able to still hold on to Chase here a little bit longer, trying to cut off with the Werewolf. And there you see the pickup from Zongao. That was the result of the plot twist. And a little bit of a fake out right there, but body blocking the window. Unfortunate scenario right there. I think the spacing from Xeno, he had that awareness of, if I miss, as long as I can body block this window, it should still be enough to get them down. And that's exactly what happened. And now we see the prioritization of this generator. Is it going to be enough? This generator could be huge in terms of getting this set point for Elysium or for Oracle. And it's going to be 4K1 result. Very, very likely, unless a crazy mishap happens, of course.
Yeah, a couple of crucial mistakes there from Zeno, allowing Oracle to get back into the game and finish another generator there. That was multiple missed pounces, a couple of missed Hellfires, and some very nice survivor play from Mata, just holding on to that chase as long as possible to let Zongao finish the gen. So that is the kind of survivor play that we need to see in these high-pressure situations from Oracle. It's going to be another miss on the pounce there, as Zeno now up against the window needs to get this last down on Zongao to secure the 4K1. But honestly, SSB, that should have been a 4K2.
Yes, a bit of a misplay for sure. And like you said, you know, just unfortunately having some crazy plays on the Dracula, but just not crazy enough to like fully cement that 4K2. And yeah, like you said, potentially could have been a different result. And you know, the question to be asked is it going to be enough to make a difference in this set? We're definitely going to see in a bit, but right here, you still got to get Zonga down. Overdose is definitely going to bleed out. And so now it's going to be, you know, it's going to be up to very likely Bubbo, right? Unless someone else is a Dracula specialist. It's going to come down to whether or not they can make something happen here. Did that last play from Zongao give Oracle the opportunity that they need in order to take the set? We're going to have to see.
Yeah, and very sad that we did not get to see the Alucard's Shield add-on come in at all. I'm wondering why Zeno, such a established and skilled Dark Lord player, wanted to bring that add-on, because bringing that add-on is kind of accepting that you're going to go to end game, but you would never expect Zeno to get outed on the Dark Lord, especially on a map like this. So the add-on not coming into play, sorry everybody in chat, I really wanted to see it too. So that is going to be the first half of the Dark Lord set done. We're going to have to go to a short break here as we flip it over to Oracle on the Killer, trying to meet a win condition of 4K2. So don't go anywhere, guys. We will be back shortly.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to some more Dead by Daylight League action. Where over here, DBDLeague has been really fun today as well. This upper semis bracket has been pretty cool to say the very least. There's been some high octane, high level matches, and now very simple job for the Elysium survivors. Pop all 5 generators, and the victory for this set is yours going into the Singularity. I mean, this is going to be a huge match right here. The winner of this goes up 2-1, but the down onto Zeno already. Bubbo having a very making quick work of it, if you will. Already getting a first down so early into the match. Very not unlike how Zeno had a very quick first down as well.
Yeah, it's interesting also that Bubbo is choosing to have his first chase over by the shack. Complete opposite of what Zeno was doing last game over by the main building. But he's going to be leaving the hook pretty far away here, probably trying to set up some eruptions on the generators. As looks like it seems like iPick is already moving over to get that save. Swatter working on a generator that now has eruption on it. And it seems like, yeah, Bubbo is content to stay over here away from the hook, and that is going to be the unhook and the for the people from iPick. Nice play here from Elysium, but now they're going to need to both keep Zeno hidden and have somebody hold a long chase against this Dracula. It's going to be the teleport coming in with the Lapis Lazuli add-on blocking the window, and iPick now is seriously in trouble. Not having that window is not going to have enough distance to get anywhere else, so that is going to be the second down and the second fresh hook for our Killer.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, iPick with the for the people, getting the reset onto Zeno. Also to note, shout outs to our stats in the back. iPick is the last person on Team Elysium who has gone the whole tournament without dying, without being sacrificed at least. So potentially, if Bubba wants to win this for Team Oracle, he's gonna have to break that streak onto iPick, and we're gonna have to see how that ends up panning out. Still no first gen being done, and that's 2 pain rest stacks. So that means that this generator is the one that they have been very intent on working on, has been damaged quite a bit due to pain rest, due to eruption, due to the kicks to set up eruption. and you can see that very clearly right there. Trying to get a hit, maybe playing it a little bit safe, but no one home for that first swing. A finesse is going to be enough to get you over that tile into another pallet, and now gonna have to go to the werewolf right here potentially to cut down some of the distance, but a generator gets popped somewhere, and now it's gonna be up to Bubbo to rotate over and to change targets potentially here in order to maybe make some magic happen.
Yeah, and every single regression event that has happened so far in this game has been on that same generator. As we see survivors coming in for a double save now, Swatter going to take an M1, not going to land the M1 onto Pedro. Instead, IPIC going to get hit off the hook into the deep wound. Teleport coming into the main building, trying to figure out where IPIC went. He seems to be going into the corner here, has an opportunity to use the Hellfire. IPIC, good pathing though, is able to dodge out on that. Not even going to use it. The pathing of IPIC, good enough, but the flick out here, going to predict that flare from IPIC. He's going to go down over in the corner. And I believe this might be the 6th regression event on that generator. Now that the eruption has come through, it's now been dry kicked twice, eruptioned twice, and pain resonance twice as well. That hook obviously can't be a pain resonance, but that one generator is already 2 kicks away from being completely blocked.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how much progress has been taken away from that gen. You know, definitely tons of progress being taken away. Additionally, I feel like regardless, the survivors have been doing a pretty good job of working on other generators and timing the pops to the point where that generator was the only one that has taken the brute force, the brunt force of all of those regression events. And so that basically means that that gen eventually will get popped no matter what, even if the survivors are opting to work on other gens. And so far, I mean, you know, it's been they've been on pace to get this last gen popped. I mean, IPIC's about to die, but if they can get this rescue, you know, it'll be enough for them to at least keep another person in the trial. But that's why Bubble's coming back, trying to confirm the death, and it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. So 3v1 for the rest of the trial. The streak has been broken. IPIC, the first person to be sacrificed here, or the last person to be sacrificed after having a almost perfect streak here on Elysium's team. And now Bubbo going to opt to come over here to try to see if you can't stop these generators from being done. 2 more gens to go, and that's going to be the Dracula win for Elysium. So we're going to have to see if that can happen or not.
Yeah, and you can't save against a camping Dracula unless you already have 2 survivors readily in position to do a double save like they did before. So Pedro now going to be in chase. No, actually, going to be Bubbo decommitting and going over to kick the Shack gen. Blocks up that Shack window with the purple add-on and is going to be looking for the next survivor in bat form here. Has an idea that somebody might be in the basement, but it doesn't look like he's correct about that. So a little bit of time wasted there. Thought that somebody might have walked down into the basement while he was a bat, but now seems to have kind of lost where he's meaning to go. Unable to find a chase right now. Needs to find something soon, or these survivors are just going to be working gens for free, as we see Zeno almost finished with the generator on the HUD. Swatter here immediately drops the pallet jam. It's going to get broken up, but now surely he's just going to go corner, right? He's got nothing else here. Goes down to the pounce, but that is going to be the tie condition already met by Elysium. Zeno finishes that gen off in the distance. And what does the gen spread look like here? Doesn't look very good at a glance for Zeno. We have main building, there's one in the middle, and then one all the way over by Shack up on the hill. So no 3-gen to speak of here for Bubbo.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult to maintain this if you're Bubbo, but, you know, some crazy plays from the killer side of things could be enough. The champion of light going to be more than enough. Excellent work right there from Zeno. So able to blind and able to get this rescue, and now it's going to come down to whether or not you can chase both Pedro and Swatter if they're breaking up, or they're going to try to, you know, maybe tank hits or something, even though they're both injured. I'm not really sure what the play is going to be here, though. Just immediate reset right there onto Pedro, and so now all of a sudden things look a little bit more difficult. But calling out Swatter still being here, and keep in mind that I believe that was Slaughter's first hook, and that pain res wasn't used. So you still have that available to get some slowdown, but you're just gonna slug at this point because you know that Xeno's probably back on this generator right here. And you hear that gen being worked on a little bit, so you know that that is definitely happening. But the immediate pick up the Swatter, that means Pedro didn't actually go too far away before coming back and picking up Swatter.
Yeah, and now this chase onto Xeno can't take too long because you know that Swatter and Pedro are either resetting or doubling that main building gen. Looks like they are going to get the reset off there in the distance. The Champion of Light going to get Xeno just a little bit more distance. He still needs to dodge out on this pounce dash though. Dodges the first one, second one, not so much though. Just too close range for him to flare away from it twice. And now he's running back towards the middle of the map. Please tell me you have balanced landing, Xeno. There's no way this pathing makes sense without it. And yes, Xeno does have the balanced landing. Going to make distance over towards this tile. And now he's going to be going as far away from the worked generator as he can. Going to go down to the pounce once again. Eruption hits the generator at the pagoda. But it looks like Bubbo here, he's going to be in slugging mode here. And who can blame him? If he picks up to hook here, that is going to be game over. Takes way too much time. He's actually not going to kick that generator because Eruption is on cooldown. He needs to find somebody stealthing here. And you survivors on Elysium, if you get found by this main building generator, that is as good as game over.
Yeah, 100%. And man, the rotating from these survivors has been quite literally a clinic. I mean, based on the progress of that gen, surely they were doubling it for quite some time, but they definitely got off at some point to rotate over, knowing the down was going to happen. Like, moving before the down ends up happening, that way you're in position to actually get that pickup. And it was Pedro able to kind of sneakily move away in order to get that down or that pickup as fast as you could. That is going to be down right here onto Swatter yet again, and it is a pain res. Is it enough though to make it across? I think this gen is, they're fighting for this gen to pop, but man, potentially a pain res here. I don't think it's going to be enough.
There must be a pain res in this corner if Xeno's actually picking up. We know that there isn't one in the other corner by the main building. Hook's going to be coming in now. And yes, that was absolutely a pain resonance. So one of those remaining for Bubbo. He's going to be able to go over to this gen now and apply the eruption to it. These survivors need to scatter while he's waiting for that eruption cooldown. So the kick is going to come down. Entity blocker spikes are starting to appear on that generator. I believe it's only at about 4 or 5 regression events though. So more than enough time for Bubbo to close out this game if he's able to play well enough. Not able to spot Xeno on top of that hill though, actually drops down. And he's going to get away there with the balanced landing. But he's actually coming back here to tunnel out Swatter, I think.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's just going to make it so much easier to do. And the down right here should be that eruption on both of the main generator and the other generator that he had just kicked just now. So that should be more than enough to make it happen, and that is going to be the kill. However, because you did mention the Moris do take longer than picking up and going to the hook, maybe the hook is a little, I don't think it's too far from here. So is that enough time for them to pop the generator? It was! Insane work from these survivors. They were able to power through the eruption and just double up on that gen. More than enough time to get that last generator done. And that's going to be two sets to 1 in favor of Elysium going into the Singularity set. And that potentially, I mean, that's definitely what you needed. It was very hard fought, very, very close, but man, they played this so well. Pedro, the MVP of this set for sure, just because of his elusiveness to able to get around. I believe he's still a fresh hook as well. So able to still get around, you know, when a down happens, able to rotate over to get the saves, to, you know, stack generators. You know, the communication had to have been on point.
And it seemed like Bubbo was very in tune with the fact that he needed to slug, but then at the last moment where it really mattered, he didn't and went for the Mori on the Death Hook Survivor. Thought he had enough time before they finished the gen, but that was clearly not the case. I think if he would have slugged that and immediately teleported in bat form over to that gen, he would have stopped it. But Dead by Daylight is a game of seconds, so it's going to be Elysium going up 2-1 going into the Singularity set. That was Oracle's pick. So if Oracle is able to show up here and tie the series once again, we will have a game 5 on our hands. So match point here for Elysium. Don't go anywhere, guys. We will see in a little bit if this is actually the conclusion of the series. Welcome back, everybody. Housekeeping here. Xeno on the survivor side had a incorrect perk. Nuts had something he wasn't supposed to have. So Xeno here, as he's already in the first chase, Xeno is going to be playing with 3 perks, as well as a half a hook stage penalty to Team Elysium, and Bubbo is allowed to change his build. So that is what is going on from the restart and the disconnect. Xeno takes a hit and goes to the top of main building. Bubbo not wanting to commit there. He knows that he has 4 survivors slipstreamed right now. So he's going to be taking a chase here, but actually they were all grouped up with an EMP. Very clean play there from Elysium to get the pods off of everybody's backs except for Xeno. And that honestly just destroys all of the pressure of this iridescent add-on. So very nicely done from Elysium here. Bubbo now struggling to get other tags with the slipstream pods, and he knows that Xeno is injured at the main building, but he's just EMP'd himself. So now that's going to be a significant time investment if he wants to land a tag and a hit onto Xeno. This is dangerous here for Oracle. He doesn't have much here, ssbkid, and he's struggling to find these pods after that EMP play.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely struggling a little bit right here, but I mean, regardless, still we're able to at least find some pressure. At least I believe zone out Swatter, but no, Swatter able to still make it all the way out. And yeah, I mean, the Xeno actually, my fault. I think the big thing is that iridescent add-on being such a factor at first. Obviously, the killers can change their builds whenever a restart happens when it's not your fault, right? But it's crazy to think about that. Maybe because these survivors already had a guess that this was coming, they prioritized EMPs at first as opposed to actually doing the gens, which is what we saw earlier before the restart happened. So a little bit of a change of pace right here from Team Elysium, and the gen hasn't been completed. The first gen hasn't been completed yet, but you're negating power, which actually ends up working out pretty well for the survivors right now. Is this going to be enough though for Xeno? Yeah, it's going to be enough, but you are zoned out a little bit here, so not a whole lot. Maybe you have something right here. Maybe someone's here to take a hit, which is exactly what's going to happen. Pedro doing a really good job so far, at least delaying that first down, delaying that first pain res.
Let me just say, as somebody who's played Singularity competitively before, this is extremely bad for Bubbo. He has nothing so far. All of his pods are not watching generators. He's been constantly recycling single pods to try to get a tag onto Xeno, and it hasn't been working. Still doesn't get the down here. As you can see the little rotating circle on his power there, he doesn't have any strategic pods set up on the gens, with 2 gens already done and 0 hooks. All of his pods are in little random spots that don't mean anything for generators. They were just there to try to get a single slipstream onto Xeno, and he's constantly recycling the pods into different spots as well because he has them all on the map. None of them are watching gens, and he didn't have corrupt intervention. This is extremely bad situation for Oracle.
100%. I think corrupt intervention actually just gives you that free time at first to set up around those, which I feel is what we see most singularities do. I feel like we see a very slow start to the game at first to get everything set up, to get the map set up, and then that's where singularity can strike pretty difficult and make it a rough time for these survivors. And obviously that first down taking so long. Normally, on average here at DBDLeague, we normally get like 1.5 minutes of a chase. That one over 3 minutes. So shout outs to the stats people for taking care of us with that info. So very good insight. That's just one of many things that unfortunately have not been going Bubbo's way in this singularity set so far, and that could potentially be enough. I mean, we still have another half to go, but it potentially could be the difference maker for Elysium to take this win over Oracle. That is an aggressive locker, and I believe it's because Xeno probably is a DS, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so Pedro gonna get picked up on this pallet here. No save coming in. It's gonna be a second fresh hook for Bubbo. But his pods are still not in a good state here. He needs to get them on some of these important generators, and even that one that he just placed is not in a good spot. He is able to get some vision onto main building with that pod. Not going to go for the teleport, though. He needs to reset that pod that's over in the corner. It's only watching one side of the generator. They can just ignore it and do the gen from the other side. So Xeno now going to get picked up and put on the hook near where Pedro is. So a little bit of a strong situation here. He's got two hooks close to each other, but Pedro is smartly going to get unhooked while he's carrying. And the fourth generator is done, ssbkid. This is really starting to slip away from Bubbo here. The survivors of Elysium are playing so clean.
Yeah, definitely doing a very good job. These survivors, they've been playing so well. You know, obviously have been rewarded very immensely by getting 4 gens already done, and only 2 hook stages, or 3, I mean. And you know, it has been enough for these survivors to at least make the most out of the situation. But now, a little bit of cameras on pods onto these generators, so you know you are able to get some information right here. Maybe trying to confirm the death onto Xeno, but you see that pod right there. Gonna have to replace it in order to have full eyes on that generator, or at least be able to teleport to it. So right now it just hasn't been working out too well right now for Bubba. But I mean, if anything can change right here, potentially could be here, but we get the trade. We're gonna get the trade, so Xeno's still alive, and the DS is still up too. So this is gonna be a swatter, a pain res for sure. Oh wow, Xeno was here ready for it, and oh my god, that was enough to get that generator done. That's why Xeno took that hit, knowing that he was okay with dying potentially here, even if he went after Xeno. But it was enough to delay the hook, delay the pain res, enough to get that last generator done. And we're looking at outs stages out the door, and it could be a heck of a lot for sure.
What an insane heads-up play from Xeno there. He knows that the gen is so close to getting done that his DS doesn't really matter, so he comes back in to tank the hit, delay the pain resonance for just that couple of seconds for them to get the gen done, and now he's got plot twist here. Just insane survivor play from Xeno. So clean from Elysium so far, and now, I mean, Bubbo is essentially just face camping this hook. He's got a pod on a door. I'm not sure if he has one on the other door. Doesn't look like it. He's got some over in the middle of the map by that door, but I don't think any of them reach. I think he only cares about this door that's close to the hook. So, door gonna be opened on the other side of the map, and we'll see if Elysium would like to just take outs here. Honestly, if I were them, I would just take the outs, even though Swatter is a fresh hook. They've had such a good game here that I think they want to just take what they've already gotten from Bubbo. And teleport coming in onto Xeno, the Death Hook survivor. Did he really mean to do that? Because he just left that wide open for an unhook if somebody was there. And yes, Swatter's going to get unhooked.
Wow, everyone's here too. Obviously, you know, everyone's getting infected right here. Oh wow, the EMP! The EMP was enough. That was enough, and yeah, this should be everyone out the door. Actually, very, very good play. Wait. Yeah, no, this is everyone out the door except Xeno, but Xeno has Hatch right here, and he could just, yeah, this is so, oh no, rather unfortunate right there for Bubba, but very, very good plays right there from the survivors. They did such a good job in order to save Swatter. Like you said, taking the outs could have been, was a quote-unquote optimal play right there. But Elysium taking the risk and able to get even more stages out the door. So crazy, crazy set. We're going to have to see how the second half turns out right after a short break. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to DBDLeague, and we are so close to potentially the end of the set right here. We had 5 hook stages from Bubbo, but because of the penalty, Xeno and Elysium is going to have to go with 6 stages guaranteed in order to make this happen, if I'm not mistaken. And already a down onto Bubbo. Insane start right now for Xeno.
Yeah, and this is the kind of fast start that you need on the Singularity when you're running the denied requisition form. You need to actually find a survivor quickly in a bad spot, get an immediate teleport onto them, And that's going to be a very quick first hook for Xeno using that add-on well. And his other add-on is quite an interesting pick. It's actually a brown add-on that you don't often see. The nutritional, I think it's like it's called like the nutrient paste, something like that. But it gives 2 more biopods. That's all it does. So Xeno going to have 10 biopods to play with instead of the usual 8.
Yeah, 100%. And right now, gonna get a vault right here. Mata using the life to get away right here. Can we potentially find something? And obviously, the build a lot different this time around. Xeno going to opt to go with a all hex build. This is gonna be interesting. I feel like, I guess Xeno is more so banking on maybe getting some value out of that Devour potentially. I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, crowd control doing a really good job as well, but man, this is a very interesting build. I feel like you might have a little bit more light on the situation here.
Yeah, with the win condition of 6 stages 3 fresh, the Devour Hope is really not a bad play here. Especially combined with the Thrill of the Hunt and the other Hex Totems. It's going to take them so long to do those totems, and this window is blocked because of crowd control. Goes for a mind game here, not going to be able to get that down just yet. Another teleport here comes in, but Xeno, I don't think this is playable, even when the window is blocked. Oh no, he opens the locker instead of breaking the pallet, so he's not going to get the fast break there. And Bubbo continuing to hold chase here. He does get an EMP support coming in from his team. Another teleport comes in. Another generator finished in the distance here. If Bubbo continues to hold chase here like he is, this could be dangerous for Elysium. Now drops the pallet, is going to get another teleport there. Breaks the pallet, but it does slow him down. And it looks like finally we are going to be seeing Bubbo go down again. Doesn't seem like the survivors have too much gen progress on the HUD. 1 gen is being doubled. Mata just started one himself. And this is an interesting situation because Bubbo is now dead on hook. I don't think Xeno is going to opt to camp this because he has the Devour Hope. Maybe going to be looking for Mata here with the pod on his back. Yeah, definitely not going to want to camp because of the Devour Hope.
Yeah, definitely looking like that's going to be the case right here. Already rotating over, can see, I think that is Mata, right?
Yep, that's Mata there with the pod on his back. Gonna be faking the teleport and getting the vault call out there. Really high level singularity play from Xeno. Flicking the camera on and off to fake the survivor out. Is he going to teleport or is he not? Winning a mind game here, gonna get a down there. And Bubbo is still on the hook, so Devour Hope not even close to revealed yet. That's gonna be the second fresh hook for Xeno. No pain resonance in play here, but there is an injured survivor at the main building. So maybe even more pressure coming in here. And V1 just drops directly into the killer. What is that?
Yeah, that was the play of all time. You know, sometimes, you know, you've seen it. I'm sure if you've watched, you know, some of these players from, you know, you've seen tournaments from their point of view, you know how, you know, crazy the communications can be. You know how like intense it can be sometimes, and sometimes mistakes are made. Like you communicate something wrong, you fake out, like, you know, you make a wrong call out, and that looks like that might have been what happened. Because yeah, I don't think there's a universe where V1 consciously makes that decision and says this is a good one, knowing Xeno's right there. So a little bit unfortunate right there. But that's gonna be a down, and this is gonna be, oh my God, he's waiting. He's waiting. He's 100% waiting for this unhook. As soon as this unhook happens, this is an insta down. I am curious to see what Bubbo is doing. Like, yeah, I'm not 100% sure what's happening here. But yeah, this is definitely just a wait.
Yeah, I'd love to see what Bubbo is doing right now. He's actually gonna get the okay. They know. He's kind of okay. Now he goes for the unhook, and where's Overdose? Did he make it to a pallet?
It's possible that he made it somewhere, which is why we don't see that, and that might have been why they were very okay with pulling the survivor. And now that means V1's probably gonna stay on the hook, unless Bubble can make it there. And Overdose is probably looking for totems now, or Mata.
It might be that there aren't any gens to protect on that side of the map, and Xeno just opted to teleport onto Bubbo, who's Death Hook. Wants to use that Devour Hope on the Death Hook survivor. as we are going to see now the Devour Hope revealed at 4 stacks already. Bubbo going onto the hook here is not going to give a stack, but actually, he's going to put him on the... No, yeah, okay. Forgot about the red Mori there. Doesn't need the Devour Hope to get the kill. Can do it at 4 stacks because every killer has the red Mori. So we're going to see the Mori coming in onto Bubbo. Very nice Singularity Mori there. One of the coolest ones that they've made in the last few years. 2 generators to go, but with 1 survivor already dead, Zeno has got to be really close to this win condition. I can't trust the hook readout, the little thing next to the gens, because you never really know with the spectator mode. Is it right? Is it wrong? We can't always be sure of how many stages Zeno has.
100%. You're definitely on point for that. But assuming my math is correct, that's 3 from Bubbo. I'm pretty sure V1 went struggle, if not got hooked twice, and then 1 hook on Mata. So that should be 6. But regardless, this one will by far be the guaranteed one for sure. And that should be the victory onto Elysium. It should be, that should be all she wrote, especially with, yeah, this is with another fresh hook as well. So,
regardless of the spectator bug confusion, that one is definitely the win condition. Even if it wasn't met before, now it absolutely is. Zeno picking up the win in the Singularity set with another down on Mata. Extremely good play out of him, and yeah, that's going to be Elysium taking this set 3-1.
Yeah, 100% for sure. But I think we're getting something from the back from the boss himself, and apparently there's some issues going on. So we're gonna have to see what's going on in the back. I'm not sure exactly what. It's something related with Bubbo. I'm not sure if it was like in game or something like that. We're gonna get some more information on that at some point, but. Yeah, just like that, the last gen's gonna get done right here. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm not sure what's gonna be happening right now. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, there is something to report from the commissioner himself, and what that is. What we know as casters is that Oracle has reported problems related to Bubbo, and there needs to be an investigation into it. We don't know what kind of problems. We don't know if it's technical issues or something else. Because we know that, I mean, Bubba was having quite a good chase there in his second hook stage. Yeah, so this game is going to be finishing up with Elysium taking the win, but there is an investigation to be had, I guess. If you watch football, or soccer as we call it in America, the play is continuing, but the referee has raised his hand and is holding a card, and we don't know why yet. You watch American football, there is one of those little yellow flags on the play, but everybody is still running around. So that is kind of the situation that we're in right now, as we see Zeno trying to keep the survivors from opening these doors.
Yeah. For my EU friends who watch football, VAR, they're checking it in the back, if you will, right? They're making sure things were okay. We're gonna have to see what happens, but yeah, at this point right now at this point we're looking for potentially survivors trying to open the gates. But I think that this is a very excellent setup on Zeno's end in terms of watching the gates and guarding them.
Yeah, that is a perfect line of sight there onto that gate, as it's really only looking at the gate. He will not get the slipstream onto the survivor unless they're actually touching the gate there. But looks like one of the gates is opened, and he's going to take the red Mori here onto this David. I mean, Zeno knows that he already met the win con, so doesn't really care too much about the other 2 survivors making it out the door. Wants to show us the Singularity Mori once again to get the kill, and all of the other survivors are going to escape out the door. And I would assume that we're going to be going to a please stand by screen and getting some housekeeping from our dear commissioner sometime soon. So what we've said is all we know as casters. We'll be back shortly to give you guys some more information.
Welcome back, everyone. The final housekeeping of today, and the decision straightforward. There was something to investigate, but nothing that justifies a restart. So Elysium is going to take the 3-1 win in this best of 5. What happened? Basically, Babbo was in an important chase and was about to reach the eye loop next to the shack, or alternatively making it into the shack. And there he got downed. And the clip that he provided shows that he is basically teleporting 2 or 3 meters and doesn't get into the next loop because of it. And now you could argue, well, that was a very important down, because if he successfully makes the shack, for example, or the eye loop pallet, then he has a longer chase. This equals generator progress and so on. Unfortunately, it is not evidence at all in this clip that it is on the side of the game developers, such as a server lag or an issue in the game. It could most likely, or it could with the same chance also be an internet connection, like a lag spike, short packet loss, or something on his PC, short freezes. And based on this, we definitely didn't have an unplayable condition based on the game developers or the game itself. We cannot eliminate the doubt here that the players carrying the responsibility. And when we are then again, a little bit like yesterday with the Jinx disconnect, look at the fairness, and we would imagine that Oracle would have had such a good trial on the killer side, and we would have a short lag from Xeno where we cannot tell, is this the game or is this the internet? It would be unfair to restart the trial for it if we are doing something like this, and especially when the restart would happen later on in the game and we are taking something away from the opponent. The evidence needs to be very clear, and that is unfortunately not the case here, which leaves a little bit of a sour taste, obviously, for Oracle, even though they took it very well and were very understanding. But it's always sad. And even if it was Babbo's internet, it is sad that something like this has influenced the trial a little bit. But in online gaming, this is unfortunately sometimes what we have to all deal with.